Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to Al Jazeera, Belgium has issued 5 one-day visas to a Taliban delegation to attend a European Union meeting on migration in Brussels. This marks the first time the EU has hosted the group since it returned to power in Afghanistan nearly 5 years ago. The European Commission stated that the meeting will focus on irregular migration and the deportation of Afghan nationals whose asylum applications have been rejected, particularly those convicted of serious crimes or deemed security threats. The EU emphasized that the discussions do not imply formal diplomatic recognition of the Taliban administration. However, the decision has drawn fierce backlash from human rights organizations, including Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International. Critics argue that deporting people back to Afghanistan, where the Taliban has severely restricted women's rights and freedom of expression, places them in grave danger amid an ongoing deep humanitarian crisis. According to a report by Yonhap News Agency, South Korea's benchmark stock index, the KOSPI, suffered a massive crash on Tuesday, June 23rd, plummeting 910.17 points, or 9.99%, to close at 8,203.84. This sharp decline triggered a circuit breaker at around 2:33 p.m. after the index plummeted more than 8%, temporarily halting all stock trading for 20 minutes. This marked the 4th time this year and the 10th time on record that the bourse operator activated such a halt. The market crash was fueled by foreign and institutional investors aggressively selling off major semiconductor and technology heavyweights, tracking overnight losses in U.S. markets. Tech giant Samsung Electronics plunged 12.31%, and SK Hynix sank 12.47% due to valuation concerns. Additionally, the Korean won weakened against the US dollar, closing at 539.11. Conversely, retail investors were net buyers during the session, purchasing 8.58 trillion won. According to a report by NTV News Clouds, On Air 1, Northern Laos raided a suspected special fraud base in Seong Ko Wong on June 17, detaining 17 individuals. The detainees include 9 Japanese nationals, both men and women, 4 Chinese nationals, and 4 men from Taiwan. During the raid, authorities discovered counterfeit police badges labeled Metropolitan Police Department Kishicho, leading investigators to believe that the group posed as Japanese police officers to target victims in Japan. Local authorities are expected to deport the detained Japanese nationals, while the Japanese embassy in Laos is currently verifying the facts of the incident. Southeast Asia has seen a rise in such operations as tightening crackdowns on special fraud bases in Cambodia and Myanmar are reportedly driving criminal groups to expand their activities into neighboring countries like Laos. According to a report by Lianhe Zobao, Saudi Arabia's crude oil exports continued their downward trend in April, falling to their lowest level in 24 years. Data from the Joint Organizations Data Initiative, JODI, revealed that Saudi crude exports dropped from an average of 4.974 million barrels per day, BPD, in March to 3.99 million BPD in April, marking the lowest recorded level since JODI began tracking in January 2002. The decline is primarily attributed to regional tensions and shipping disruptions, following attacks on Iran by the United States and Israel in late February. Shipping through the crucial Strait of Hormuz was severely obstructed. This bottleneck led to a month-on-month export reduction of over 30% in March, which extended into April. Furthermore, Saudi crude oil production also suffered, decreasing to a daily average of 6.316 million barrels in April, down from 6.967 million BPD in March, also a record low since January 2002. JODI is a global energy assessment project managed by 6 international organizations to monitor global energy data. According to JJ Press, Japanese State Minister for Foreign Affairs Ayano Kunimitsu has visited Ukraine to reaffirm Tokyo's unwavering support for the war-torn country. Kunimitsu's trip marks the first visit to Ukraine by a politically appointed Japanese government department leader, including ministers, state ministers, and parliamentary vice ministers, since Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi assumed office last October. During her visit, Kunimitsu is scheduled to meet with Ukrainian government officials, including Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha. In her talks with Sybiha, she is expected to pledge Japan's continued assistance and present a plan to maintain economic sanctions against Russia for its ongoing aggression. The two sides are also anticipated to reaffirm their joint cooperation in working toward a just and lasting peace, while discussing specific measures to support Ukraine's reconstruction and restoration efforts. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.